Welcome to Dominate, where we discuss strength and conditioning and much more. Orion
Coach
Edwards, my man.
Yes, sir.
My man, welcome. This is your first year at LPS.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure having you. Love your work ethic.
It's been a pleasure being here.
Love your work ethic. I want to let everybody know, who you are, what you do, and we'll talk about your aspirations.
Yeah, my name is Orion. I'm a bobsledder for Team Canada. My aspirations is to go to the Olympics and win gold medal for Canada. I'm saying it now, so it's on the record, so I can look back at it and see it. You always encourage us to have big dreams, and you gotta chase them.
Speak it, exactly. So shall it be, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%. You gotta believe.
Yep.
You gotta believe before. That's very personal to me in terms of letting the youth, not the youth, but anyone really believe. If you don't believe it, no one else is gonna believe it.
Yeah.
So you gotta believe it and own it and do everything you can to make that a reality.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about that. What's some of the things that you're doing to making that a reality right now?
Yeah. Well, I think just one, like being here, training here was a big step. I remember I got you guys' contact actually from a bobsled coach.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
I don't even know what's his name.
It's actually her name's Esther, and she's one of the Team Ontario coaches, and she's like, yeah, I was working on like power cleans and stuff like that. I was like, how do I get better at Olympic lifting? Because I was horrible at it, as you know. And she's like, well, she gave me 2 gyms. There was one in Scarborough and then one LPS being here.
Okay.
And that's when I started following you guys on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is a gym that Wayne goes to, right?
Okay, yeah,
and I played against Wayne more like in college and stuff. I was like, well, I just slowly followed you guys for like a year, and then got in contact and saw you guys.
So you were following us for a year?
Yeah, I think
a year before you came in?
Yeah, about a year. Wow. It was July 2019 when I first looked.
So Esther gave you the number like in a year before you even came in?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a year before I actually stepped into the building.
Yeah.
I wish I started in July. But it was a year before I stepped into the building, and I just saw everyone who was here. I knew that PK was here. I knew that like Gordo was here. I knew that Fabian Foot was here. I knew that Wayne was here. And I saw like the numbers they were doing, and I saw the results that they were getting, and I knew who they were. And I said, well, the next year after doing my first season, I was like, well, if I really want to get better at the sport, if I really want to excel at the sport, I need to get stronger. I need to get more powerful. I need to get faster. I need to put on a little bit of weight as well, and I need to get better at Olympic lifting. So I came in, I talked to you and Jeremy, and we sat down, we made a plan and how to like get better for this season, and we attacked it. So
how was that process for you? Man,
it was hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was hard, but it was amazing. I learned a lot about
what was hard about it.
What was hard about it? Squatting 4 times a week. That's a different thing, coming from like my college football days and stuff like that, and even like when I was training myself in high school, you kind of have this notion like, well, you might do like legs once or twice a week, but like the thought of like, hey, every day you're in here, like you're hitting like full body, full range of motion, you're squatting, you're going heavy, and like if you're not maxing out, you're doing your volume days, and your volume days aren't like, it's not like easy like 50%, you're like 80%, and you're attacking it.
It's funny you say that because, after, obviously developing the system and being in the system for so many years, I forget that one small little thing that, the average athletes out there, if they squat, right, they probably squat once a week, right, if they squat. And on top of that, we squat 4 days a week. So that's a huge...
And full range of motion, that's a key.
Full range of motion, yeah.
Because anyone can box squat a crazy amount of weight. Full range, can you go ass to grass and come back up? And
how was that experience, like feeling that or going through that process? What was it like?
I remember the first like 3 weeks I was here and working with like you and Mark, Coach Mark. You guys had to kind of hold me back. You'd be like, hey, like you can't just try to jump up. You gotta hold me back and be like full range, like feel the motion, feel everything, and then once you got to the next phase, that's where like really kicked in. Like I remember like we did like a 5-rep max, and then we maxed again for front squat the next day, and then Wednesday was like volume again. I was like volume. I was like, okay, like, well, like 10 to 20 kilos below. And I was like, you just like doing the numbers, you're calculating it, you're like, okay, like this is like, and you feel the weight, like this isn't not much different from like what I was doing on Monday. and like it's just like, it's a grind. And like, I think there's like, everyone who trains here is like, you'll talk to them, like the census is like, Wednesdays are the hardest days. Wednesdays are the hardest day. If you get through Wednesday, like you'll make Friday. But like Wednesday's the hardest day.
I'm sorry. The reason why I'm laughing, I apologize, is because I've never, like, just like I said, I've been in this, and I'm talking to all these old guys. We've doing these dominant discussions, and I'm talking to guys, you know, who've been with me for years, so they're just used to it, right? But and what hit me is, that's why I called you the other day. I said, let me just get a new perspective. It's your first year. I love your work ethic. You're about it. You're that chop wood type of guy that I'm drawn to. We love those people here.
Yeah.
So, but just hearing that, it's refreshing. It's like, it's refreshing, and it's crazy. Like, yeah, man.
It's different. And like, it's good because like, I think everyone who's here is trying to be different. You know what I mean? They're trying to be, like, excel at the sport and to like get to that top 1%. Everyone always says, you know, to be a 1%er in anything, you got to do what the 1%. You got to do what the 99% don't do. You know, like you. I think back to like the days I was training for football. I think back to like even like some of my teammates. Like they work extremely hard. I'm not saying that, but like I tell them, I squat 4 times a week. They go, what? They sometimes see me in the gym and they're like, you're squatting again? I'm like, yeah. Like in season, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but you're gonna be tired? I'm like, no. My work capacity's been increased, you know? So like,
but break it down. Like, you know, your work capacity's increased. How did camp, how did testing go?
Yeah.
You wanted to put on body weight.
Yeah.
Since we're there.
Yeah.
Speak it, baby.
Yeah.
And speak it loud.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
I think, so back squat went up like tremendously. And like, it's, before like I had a pretty good back squat, but like, the range was there, but it wasn't ass to grass.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yeah, I could do 210 ass to grass, done. I did 220 ass to grass, done.
At what body weight?
I think it was like 196.
No, you're
196
you're
pounds,
like 195 pounds.
Yeah. So I think coming here, I came here at 190.
No, that's 210 kilos, people, just to be
clear.
Right?
Kilos.
And at about 85, 89 kilo body weight.
Yeah. So I came here around 190, and we the pandemic hit. Right. And so I had probably a full month of just body weight training. Right. So I lost weight.
Yeah, we lost a lot of time. Yeah,
I lost weight. I think I went back down to like 187. Then I came back after like we were able to come back in, came back, got up to 196 for testing. I think the biggest keys there is like I squatted 170 for 3 for front squat, which was big kilos. I sprinted faster
with 10 pounds.
10 pounds heavier.
10 pounds heavier.
So the year before I was at 186 for testing camp. I sprinted faster. Like my overall 30 meter was 100th faster, but my 15 and my fly 45 was, I think it was like my 15 was, I think 3 or 4 hundredths faster. My fly was, I think 2 or 3 hundredths faster as well. So like, and I felt more explosive. And like, from like the numbers wise, that's where it was at, right? Actually, one more number is like, you know, come to push testing, I decreased by a 15th of a second. It's like 1.5 of a second, which is huge, right? But go to mentality wise, it's completely different. You know, as I said, like these workouts aren't easy. You know, it's not like even the max days, like it's great, but like as you said, you get to Wednesdays and it's a grind.
The max day, you know, you put up your number, you're out the
door. That's it. You can get through, you're in or out. But like Wednesdays or Fridays, you're there and like it's mental. You know, it's mental. Like you're like, okay, I have 5x5 squats, or you know, I have 5x5 push press, and you're like, I got to get this volume in, and after that, I got to sprint.
And you're probably saying, like, there's no way I'm going to get faster this week. Tell me the truth. It's okay.
When I first started, I was like, there's no way.
There's no way I'm going to get faster. This guy's just beating me up. I'm just tired all the time. I'm just sore all the time. It's mental. It's a mental. Like, the biggest thing with this system, the biggest thing I have to deal with is the mental.
It's mental.
Those who are not mentally strong, because they are going to put in that self-doubt. Clance is crazy. They are not, there's no way. And that's why I tell the coaches, you have to pay attention to the athletes. That's why you see them, we're always paying attention, always on you, always asking questions, because you will go into a mental, a lot of athletes just break or leave and don't come back, or because they have to go through that. That's why we got to stay close. We have to guide you through, and it's okay because you're not used to. You're a tough guy. We got to guide you emotionally through that process. And us as coaches have to really understand. That's why we want our coaches to be hands-on. You know, in a good way.
Very, very hands-on.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. Humbling. That's one of the words I want to say. Is humbling. I know because I remember, like, for the first 3 weeks I was here, and then I also remember just like, you know, you have to. It's humbling to be like, on those days you feel weak. You know, on those days you're at the bottom of the whole squat, or you're on your third set of cleans or snatches, and you got to be like, okay, like, do I really want this? You know what I mean? Like, do I really want this? And you got to be like, yeah, you know, I do. Am I willing to go through the pain of training, the pain of dedication, the pain of commitment to get my goals? And that's humbling. And like, I know, you know, I came in here, I was like, well, you know, I've been training for a while. Like, I've been working out since I was 15. You know, I know my way around a gym, you know, and then being told, like, no, you got to decrease the weight so you can work on your form. You got to decrease your weight so you work on your form so that when it's time to lift big weights, you can do it properly and do it smoothly and do it fast.
That reduces injuries.
Exactly. So like, that was humbling. But like that, like, I was talking about like mental toughness. That mental toughness is like those days, like, I don't want to get a Robetsico trained, you know? I don't want to come in and grind and do 5x5s or do all that weight. But like, what it does, like, when it came to testing wise, going back to that testing time, it created a different switch. Like, I had somewhat of a switch, but it created a different switch. Like, I think in, like, with Team Canada, we call it the dark place. And our head coach Todd will talk about this and talk about the last Olympics where Cripps won gold. And what actually happened is that they pushed 100th faster than they did the run before. And anyone who watched the 2018 Pyeongchang Games knew that Canada won the two-man Olympic gold. They tied it with Germany. So if they didn't push that 100th faster, it would have been silver. They tied gold with Germany. I think it only happened one other time before.
Crazy.
So like that dark place we call it dark place. It's not dark though. It's just like
it's like that flow.
Exactly.
It's rare as an athlete. I've been there maybe once or twice. And it's a place where I know what you're talking. Like, it's like you're just floating in space. It's weird. It's hard to explain.
It's like, I know when it came to testing time, like, I had a single push testing, I had team push testing, where like they determine like who's gonna be on what team and etc. That, like, what came into my mind was like all the training, all the months I put in here. I was like, man, like I've been squatting 4 times a week. I've been cleaning 4 times a week. I've been snatching 4 times a week. I've been doing weighted sprints. I've been doing all that, and then you think about like, okay, like, I sacrificed a lot. My coaches have sacrificed a lot. My family has sacrificed a lot for me to be here. For me to just go and push mediocre, that's not good enough. For me to go and push just average is not good enough. It has to be everything I have. You know, it might not be that standard yet, but it's gonna be significantly better than where I was before. And like all that just like compounds, all that just like it just creates a different like energy that you're like, okay, like that dog mode. You're like, okay, like I'm getting this.
Yo,
like,
I'm
getting this.
I'm just feeling that butt because that's that dog.
Yeah.
We like to create that dog.
Yeah.
We try to create that, and this that dominant switch, that dog. And once that dog is set, you can activate it anytime.
Exactly.
Because that dog is laid on solid foundation. Exactly. That's why I love it here. You know, because like
you look around, you look at everyone else who's like training with you. You have Olympians, right? You have pro athletes. You have like everyone who's around here is like trying to get there. So it's like that energy I'm talking about is here. You know, that energy is here. So like, if you don't bring that energy, you're outlier. You're like, no, like you don't belong here. You won't last here.
And it's so important that you say that. And that's why I wrote that book, Dominate. Like there's so
Great
many
book.
facets of that book is so important. We want every athlete to dominate, but that's impossible. But you just dominated your mind.
Yeah.
That's the dominant switch we're talking about. I don't care who you are, what's up, where, what situation. I'm about that. I'm about it. You know what I mean? And when you're about it, you're gonna give everything you got. Because you just said you put too much work in, too many people sacrifice, and
too deep in the cut.
Too deep.
Too deep in the cut.
You gotta tap in.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to tap in.
Yeah.
And that's what we call that. That's what we about that dominate. And then tapping in is only fostered through repetitive, hard work.
Yeah.
You have to suffer.
Yeah.
If you're not suffering here, you're not working.
Yeah.
If you're PRing every day, every week, you're not working. It make you feel good.
No, but
But that's not what I'm after. I'm after that tap in. I'm after that dog. I'm after that repeated work capacity.
Yeah.
You said work capacity. You just on the testing the hills, the work. You felt like
the hills. Flashback like the hills.
Talk it.
Oh
yeah.
I think like the hills. I remember when Friday like, hey, Saturday we're gonna run hills. So I was like, okay, like I was like, okay, like, you know, and we met at Centennial. I was like, hey, how far are we going? You're like, we're going all the way up and back down.
Centennial Park.
And I didn't yak, but I was like, I was real close. And like, just like, but the mentality behind that is like, you know, every day you're doing something. You know, every day you're putting, you know, a lot of people like to say a deposit. That you're depositing in the bank so that, you know, when you can tap in, you can cash out, you know? And if you don't suffer, you won't ever have anything you won't have a reserve to tap into.
You know, so like, I don't mind at all me going the extra mile. You know how far I had to drive to meet you at Centennial? Right? Other guys can make it, but you were there.
Yeah.
And I appreciate every minute of it.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand. You got to do that work that no one else will do to get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody else. It was just me and you.
Yeah.
Just putting in that work.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to you, but you were putting that work, and I was watching you closely, so heat exhaustion on that. But I knew that day you're tapping in.
Yeah.
I'm pushing you to another mental level because it's not all about physical. A lot of times, the physical, it is important, but that mental to switch that tapping, and I love that, man. You know, you said you about sacrifice. We were just talking the other day in terms of sacrifice. I don't know if you want to share that, but I really think it's important to let people know the sacrifice you're willing to make to achieve your dream, which to me I thought was, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think like one of the things like I'm like in process of doing is actually moving out to Calgary, and like
we're gonna miss you.
Yeah, definitely. I don't miss being here, and like it won't be until the summertime. But like moving out to Calgary, and like what we talked about was like, you know, like so I could, you know, be able to train in that specificity. I can't say the word, but being like specific training and like and actually get better at pushing, right? And you know, that's you know, I don't really know anyone in Calgary. You know, I don't really I know the area a little bit, but like other than my teammates and some of my coaches who are still there, like that's it.
And the reason why I think that's so important is because you recognize what you need to do, and you're sacrificing you're sacrificing to get it done. Yeah. You're strong. Yeah. You're fast. Yeah. Obviously, you get a little stronger, you get a little more faster. That's all good. But we're connecting online when you're there, right?
Yeah.
So
we've been doing that.
We've been doing that. We've been doing all this, right? So you realize when you do what do I need? You need more skill work. Yeah. So you're going there. Skill reigns supreme.
Yep.
That's it. And you have to dedicate that time to say, what is the most efficient way for you to do that? Okay, I got to move out there.
I got to push the sled.
So you can push the sled.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that simple, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, I say a lot of times I don't like gym rats.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you reach a certain point, you don't need to be in the gym a certain point. You just need to know, you know, you're new, so you still need to figure out what numbers, what's the snatch, what's the power clean, what's the squat, what's the pull up. What are these numbers that are going to make me feel at my best? And they change, whatever. You know what I mean? When I need to do some work, how am I going to get activated to do that, that test work? You know, we've been playing through that, and we've been going through some scenarios when you're in Calgary, right? But right now, you realize the number one priority for me is to work on my skill.
Well, you said it, right? Like gym rats, like it doesn't. Yeah, okay, you can squat 500 pounds, but like, okay,
how does it translate?
Exactly. Is that your sport?
No.
If that's not your sport, then like yes, like it's important to be strong and like it builds up the strength and allows you to allows you to like be able to do that. But like if that's the whole thing, it doesn't mean anything. You know, you can be as strong as you want, you can be as powerful as you want, but if it doesn't translate, it doesn't mean a thing.
It's all about, for us, it's simple. What you do in the gym, does it translate to the ice? Does it translate to the hill? Does it translate to the field? Does it, you know, whether it's soccer, whether it's football, whether it's baseball? That's it. So we have metrics for different athletes to hit certain targets so they can be. So once you have these metrics in the gym, what are you doing? What other things are you doing to making you a better athlete? Figure it out, get it done, which is outside my scope. I do not specialize in pushing.
No.
So you got to go figure it out. I do not specialize in football drills or the certain mechanics. So you got to find that coach. I don't specialize in hockey. So that is profound, and athletes have to understand that find those metrics that you need to be a better athlete, stronger, more powerful, more faster. And then pay attention to your skill, because a lot of times the skills get disrupted with that new strength, with that new power, with that new 10 pounds of muscle is going to disrupt certain coordination patterns.
Well, so you always see that in basketball players, right? They'll get a lot stronger, faster, better, and the shot's off, because like they won't work on their shot, and then like the next thing you know, they have more power, where they can't like now the finesse behind it. You have to find
that touch,
and it's the efficiency.
Yeah, you don't like some of the. Skill is a thing like basketball. I was reading this book, The Mamba Mentality. Kobe shot every day, played basketball every day.
Multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. Thank you for correction. Multiple times a day. Your skill has to be like so efficient that you don't even think it's just automatic. And that's what sometimes a lot of gym rats miss. You know, a lot of athletes miss that, how important it is to work side by side with the gym, but skill reigns supreme. And as a strength coach, that's my job, right? But my job is not to hold the athlete back just so they can be strong and look good in the gym. My job is to how I feel good, how I get that energy, is how when you call me and say, "Coach, man," and you told me your numbers and how happy you were, and we're like, I was happy, and you made the team. I'm like, that's why I do this, man. So I appreciate you, man, and you're a great athlete, you're a great person, because you keep me in communication. Communication, people don't understand. Communication is key. The things you say, how you say it. I calculate so many different variables. Okay, this is how we're going to approach it. And as you know, based on what's going on, things change in an instant. Especially now with the COVID thing going on, we have to address those things. Right? So, Orion, it's a pleasure, man. But I want you to, for anyone who's listening, any young, I love bobsled. I watch, I love, just so you know, I love it, man. Just love that. Like guys like LaSalle Williams, and just love that power, man. I just love watching bobsled. But I want you to basically just, let the young aspiring athlete or young aspiring bobsledder, if you would have a word of advice for them in their path to, hey, making a national team, going to the Olympics, winning a gold medal.
I think like one thing I learned from you and everyone here at LPS is like people underrate the basics. The basics, like everything we talked about is the basics. It's nothing fancy. I've done some of the fancy stuff before, And like I feel stronger, faster, and better doing the basics. And the same way like that goes with like skill work, right? Like every day doing something that will help you get better at your sport. Like that itself, like it will create completely different. Like that's what Kobe did. Every day he worked on a shot, every single day. So that way, when it comes time for him to get on the court, like it's easy for him to know that he had confidence in the shot. So like every day, work on the basics, the small things, and just like perfect those, and then you move on. But don't like fundamentals are key.
Fundamentals are
That's
key.
it.
And fundamentals they're key, and fundamentals are a lot of times they're not exhausted to its maximum.
Yeah,
Exhaust the fundamentals to the maximum. Exhaust the basics to the maximum. The biggest thing about the problem is that I feel and I see, and I don't know if I blame attention economy for this, is that we have, when I say attention economy, I'm like talking like social media. Even me, I got to fight with that. I got to get off this, get off that focus structure. Even today in my planner, I sat down and my daughter sent me a video, and I know these things, and she goes, okay, this is the only time I'm going to put in my calendar, I'm going to focus on social media. Other times,
yeah, you got to do.
I got to do. I no social media, no whatever. It's just, multitasking is a myth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't do it.
You have to focus.
Yeah.
You have to really dive in and really focus. And the thing is, a lot of times I find that it's just the person coach, do we have to squat again, or do we have to snatch again? But what we're doing is you are harnessing so much qualities that you haven't reached the potential that you're ready to go. I lose my mind with athletes who can't stick with it. We're not an entertainment training gym.
No.
If you don't, the system is a system. Yeah. And if you haven't exhausted the system properly, find somewhere else to train.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Because we know, we will communicate with you, but the system is going to make you better.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's hard to communicate that. But on top of communicating, it's hard for the athletes to actually mentally lock in.
Yeah.
And go through the common.
Emotion, yeah.
The consistency. What's that word?
We said consistency compounds. Yeah.
Consistency compounds.
Yeah, from Coach Allen. That was a great word. I remember that day. He's like, man, consistency compounds. And like that's the thing. I like what you said about focus. He's like, I know for me, like my snatch, I got to work on it a lot. It's a new movement for me. And like as I said, we're doing it 4 days a week, right? It's easy to be like, oh, well, I'll just like, but like, no, you have to have intention. Intention behind everything you do. And like, I think like that translates to life, right? You have to have intention behind what you do. Okay, I want to sit down and focus on this, even though it's like, it's maybe mundane and maybe the same, maybe like what I do every single day, but I don't have my intention to do this well, right? And like that's preached here, that is like enforced here, that's like reminded constantly here. Like, okay, like pull the bar close to you, and now use your hips, like get down full range of motion, all of that. So like that's what it's all about,
Consistent compounds. Yeah. Well, my man, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Any parting words? Anything you want to say?
And I think you want to be great, you gotta read your book. Because as I said, like reading your book, it felt like we had a lot of conversations about the mentality, about the system, but I felt like I was reading it and I was just like hearing your voice as reading it, like, oh, that's what he meant by that. It's just a little bit easier to digest, like again. So like read the book.
So I think that's super important. I forgot to highlight that. Like the book, a lot of athletes been saying like, they hear my voice,
you're talking
and then they hear, and some athletes who've been with me for years, when they read the book, they're saying, okay, this is what he means. This is what, now I get it. They get it at a higher level. Right? So that's the biggest thing that stood out to you in the book. Yeah.
And I think you broke down like complex training systems in layman's terms. It just like, it just made sense after that. Why do we try to attempt to max out every week? That's new. Like people don't.
But
do
it's
that.
not.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It's fun, but it shouldn't be new. But like you're mentioned in the book, like, well, it's about like motor unit recruitment. Like if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's a holy grail.
All or nothing principle.
That's a holy grail, baby.
Right? If you're not only like the way you measure strength is like either you do more weight or you do it for more reps.
The biggest thing to if someone wants to get stronger is simple, right? Simple in terms of principle. You either have to do two things. You got to lift heavy, right? Or you got to do volume.
Yeah.
And you got to do volume at a certain percentage of that heaviness.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. Anybody tells you anything, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Right? And you got that's just bullshit, right? And I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And what we have a society of nursing, nurturing, babying, cradle cuddling.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these God-gifted athletes.
Yeah.
I get it, you're God-gifted. But if you want to do better, these are the things you have to do.
You gotta grind.
You got to grind. You got to do these work. Will make you even better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a lot of these athletes that, you came here. You came here strong. You came here fast.
Yeah.
We just gave you a little formula to make you a little bit more faster, a little bit more stronger, a little bit more a little bit more nasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's that, you ain't walking. You're walking on that bobsled team. I'm taking this spot.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't asking for it. You're taking it.
Yeah.
And that's life.
Yeah.
When you're ready to be about it, you got to be about it. You got to take it.
Nasty.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a little excited, but that's what's up.
I like that word, nasty. Gritty,
the thing is that you're a beautiful, young, respectable young man. I appreciate that. But everybody, if you want that spot on the bobsled team, if you want that, you gotta have that nasty. Ain't nobody just gonna give that to you.
No.
You better go in there and be prepared to take that.
Yeah.
You better man up for it. You better bow up for it.
Because everyone else on that team is nasty.
That's it. That's
everyone
life.
else on that
Don't let anybody tell you anything like, nah. You got to get in there, get that.
Yeah.
And that's the type of mentality we try to put in these athletes. No, and I get it. That's just what we try to do. So the mental component is huge. Anyway, my man.
We can talk for hours.
We can talk for hours.